Hello boaters, this is Midge Cat, and don't worry, he's okay, but we had a bit of an accident the other evening. It was quite scary for a time. It was about a week ago, at about 8 p.m. in the evening, and I was sitting on the sofa with Midge beside me, and I decided to get up and put the kettle on, so I went that way, and Midge got up to go outside to the cat flap, and he went that way. Didn't think anything of it, you see. I mean, he does that all the time. But as I got to the cooker, suddenly I heard all this hissing and snarling and screaming and struggling sound going on, and I thought, what's happening? You know, has another cat come in? Is he having a fight? That's what it sounded like. And I looked, and he'd gone and got his claw stuck in the cat flap door. He must have, you know, if the cat flap's like that, he must have put his paw through and then pulled back and jammed his paw underneath the door. And oh, he was getting very distressed. He was thrashing around, snarling and screaming. It was really quite disturbing. Of course, I've obviously rushed up there to see what was going on. It was quite dark over there, so I couldn't see very well. I also had the wrong glasses on, so I could see what was happening, but I couldn't see in great detail. So I assumed that the correct thing to do was to push the cat flap outwards to release his claw. So I did it quite gently, and he screeched even louder. I thought, oh, that's no good, that's hurting him. Perhaps it needs to go the other way. So I tried pulling the cat flap inwards, and he screamed again. So that's not a good situation to be in. For a moment I didn't really know what to do, but obviously I had to do something. So in the end I just made a fist and punched the cat flap outwards. It smashed, the door smashed straight away. It broke in two and the bits flew out into the cratch. His paw was released and the screeching stopped immediately. So I picked him up and carried him back to the sofa, and he was very quiet for about, must be half an hour or so. He didn't want to move. He was a bit shocked, I think. But after that, he was all right. He didn't actually try and walk on it for a while. I was a bit worried that he might have broken a bone in his paw or something like that. But no, he was all right. There was no harm done at all. In fact, he wasn't limping in the slightest. So it was more screams of panic than pain, I would say. So, but then anyway, I had this, suddenly I found I had this big drafty hole in my front door because the cat flap door was missing. There was a lot of cold air rushing in. So I went up and I found a piece of hardboard and just nailed it over the cat flap door. So that blocked that off, and they're okay. They can get in and out because there's a cat flap in the back doors as well, so it wasn't really a problem. But then it was really annoying because I'd been looking around the charity shops just a few days before, and in one of the local charity shops there was a brand new cat flap, all boxed, never been used, for £3, and I didn't buy it. I knew I should have bought it at the time. I had that sort of nagging suspicion for some reason that it would have been a good idea to buy that, but I didn't. Anyway, of course, the day after this episode happened, I went back there quite urgently, but it had gone. So my only option was to try and repair, at least temporarily repair, the existing cat flap. So I retrieved the two halves of the door that I'd smashed through, superglued them back together, put some tape over them as well to strengthen the bond, and then, I've got to try and reach it now. Hang on, Midge. Oh! Hang on, Midge. You stay there. Then, all right, stay there. Then I cut the bottom of the cat flap door off. Now I couldn't go all the way because the locking mechanism is over on one side of the door, but I cut most of the bottom part off, and I replaced it with more waterproof duct tape. So it's now most of the bottom of the cat flap door is a nice soft flexible tape which keeps the draft out, but it won't trap paws anymore. We just got to hope that he doesn't try and trap his paw under the locking part of it, but it's incredibly unlikely. I've had the cat flap on that door ever since I've had the boat. That was one of the first things I put in because we had 2 cats to start with, and as to my knowledge it's never happened before. So I think it's probably all right for now anyway. But you're all right, aren't you, Mr. Midge? Yeah, you're not looking at the camera, are you? No. Anyway, so that worked out okay and no harm was done. Unfortunately, both my cats at the moment are a little bit under the weather. They've had colds, so they haven't been ill though. They're still eating and they're still fairly active. They'll get better. It's not something they need the vet for. And yeah, Bushka's sleeping on my bed at the moment. They do a lot of sleeping at this time of year, so they'll be right as rain soon. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you about that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh, just one thing as a PS. You're very welcome to leave comments. I do read them all, but at this time of the year my battery power is so low that I really can't spend an awful lot of time on the computer, so I am struggling to reply to many comments, to be honest. But I do read them all, so if you want to leave a message you can. Anyway, see you next time.